On the 8th of September, 1900, with almost no warning at all, a great hurricane and a 15-foot wall of water came sweeping in from the Gulf of Mexico and swallowed the entire island city of Galveston, Texas. Before that single terrible night was over, as many as 8,000 people would be dead. It remains, to this day, the deadliest natural disaster in all of American history. In 1900, Galveston was one of the richest and busiest ports in the country, a proud and beautiful city built upon a low, flat island of sand that rose only a few feet above the level of the sea. Its people were confident and prosperous. A great seawall had once been proposed to protect them, but the idea was dismissed as needless and far too expensive. Then, on that September morning, the sky to the south began to darken, and the sea began to rise. A powerful hurricane was bearing down upon the island, and there was almost no way to warn the people in time. The winds climbed to well over 100 miles an hour, the tide came surging up the streets, and the waters of the Gulf began to rise over the land. Soon, a storm surge some 15 feet high rolled clear across the island, which stood only a few feet above the waves. The water lifted whole houses from their foundations and drove a churning wall of shattered timber through the streets like a battering ram, smashing everything in its path. By nightfall, nearly the entire city lay beneath the dark and rising sea. When at last the storm passed and the waters drew back, the people found that much of Galveston had simply ceased to exist. Thousands upon thousands of buildings were gone, and as many as 8,000 souls had been lost in a single night. No natural disaster before or since has ever taken so many American lives at once. And yet the survivors refused to abandon their island. They built an enormous concrete seawall to stand guard against the ocean, and then they did something almost beyond belief. They raised the entire city, lifting thousands of buildings up on jacks and pumping sand beneath them to lift the whole island higher. That great seawall still stands today, and Galveston endures.